Hi, this is History by the Plate. I'm Ted Rogers. You know, food, its preparation, and its place in history are a passion of mine. And we've spent a lot of time exploring here new recipes, talking about how to use time in the kitchen, not just to make food, but also to turn that into a family time so we can help use that time to teach our children how to, if you will, adult. We've also explored the undiscovered ingredient of love and how to infuse that love into our cooking so that we can make meals that not just nourish the bodies of those who are dear to us. Because remember, anytime you make a meal for somebody, you are changing that person, at least on the molecular level, but infusing it with love so you also affect that person at the heart level, at the soul level. And you know, a lot of us who have been exploring these themes, these topics, have been quite successful in life. Well, working very hard, we've enjoyed the elevator ride of success up. And today, what I want to do is touch briefly, just ever so briefly, on the topic of giving back. Did you know that a 10-minute change in your schedule could change the world? I mean, follow me here. My wife and I found about a year ago that our eating habits, you know, from buying groceries and using leftovers in a timely fashion, had just really gotten out of whack. And each day we were deciding what we wanted for dinner that night, then going to the grocery. We found that, frankly, we were wasting food, something I hate to do. And things were piling up in the freezer. And some things, I hate to admit this, were becoming quite unidentifiable in the back of the fridge. We made the decision then that we were going to start planning our weekly meals with at least 2 of them each week coming from the freezer. Our trips to the grocery store became fewer and much more efficient. We made better use of our leftovers, and guess what? We saved a ton. I mean, we saved a ton. Yeah, it took 10 minutes of planning, but that actually netted us time savings in the end. So, how, you may ask, does that change the world? Say you try this. You try planning your meals and maximizing leftovers, and it saves you, let's say $10 a week. Yeah, well, guess what? Take 5 of that and treat yourself to a nicer bottle of wine on Friday, you know, for your Friday dinner. Now, take the other $5, buy a jug of milk and a box of cereal. Take that then to your local food bank and give it to them. And oh yeah, by the way, bring your kids with you, because the most important lessons in life are the ones that are caught and not taught. So take it to the food bank. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But hear me out. Hear me out on this. That milk and that cereal will go to a patron of that food bank who desperately needs it. That milk and that cereal will be the breakfast for their children so that they can have a meal before they go to school each day of the week for the next 5 days. A meal so the kids don't go to school hungry. Well, you know what? The kids, having been fed, not being hungry, they learn more. They learn better. They're not hungry, so they don't act out. And so the school becomes better. The family becomes more peaceful because the parents have less to worry about because their children have enough to eat for breakfast for the next week. So the family becomes a little bit better, a little bit more at peace. And so the apartment complex or the city block becomes just a little bit better as well. And the neighborhood becomes better. And the city becomes better. And so on, and so on, and so on. All because you had an extra $5 because you chose to organize just a little bit better. Now there are a million ways, folks, to use our bountiful resources of food to make our communities, make our world better. Plant an extra tomato plant in your garden and dedicate that, the produce from that one plant, to the food bank. You will be making a difference. If you don't have a garden, put a container out on the patio, out on the deck, wherever. Grow a tomato plant. If you do have a garden, add an extra row of corn dedicated to the food bank. There are a million ideas. Now I'll tell you what, why don't we do this? There are a million ideas on how we can help supply our local food banks with the food they need that will help individual families, that will help the kids, help the parents. Oh, so much. There are a million creative ideas on how we can do that. So here's my deal. You send me your ideas to the comments section on our website, www.historybytheplate.com, and I will do my best to make sure that we publish those ideas to make food a vector to impact our society for the better. It doesn't take much to make a big difference. It doesn't take that much. Yeah, many of us, myself included, have worked hard and have enjoyed that elevator ride of success. Now, having enjoyed that, isn't it the least that we can do to reach out and press that button and send that elevator back down for the next group of people who so desperately need it, just like we did way back when? The world, my friends, is not changed by one grand gesture that we may all hope to make. No, the world is changed for the better by the cumulative effects of a gesture here, a gesture there, a decision here, a decision there. The choices we make to say, today I choose to be my brother's keeper. It may only be a can of corn that I can afford to bring to the food bank, but that can of corn means that somebody has a more balanced meal tonight. Be the change that this world needs. Thank you for your time. Again, I'm Ted Rogers. This is History by the Plate. See you next week.